Good morning, everyone. It's so good to be with you. Oh, I got stuck building a big deck over the weekend. I just didn't get in here, but I will get caught up. Listen, I really appreciate all your time you're taking to learn. It is an extreme pleasure to deal with you YouTubers and all that. You've done well. You're pulling yourselves down a long road of growth and learning and awareness. It's just amazing. Your spiritual sides are growing. You guys are shining like light bulbs in the darkness, like suns in the darkness. You guys are incredible. So keep it up. For those that are in pain and are suffering through them, just keep hanging in there. Know what your goal is. Know why you're in pain. Understand the acid side of chemistry and the fact that you have two fluids and one of them is the bad boy. It's a good boy because it's there to protect you, but it's a boy that if it ain't flowing good, it ain't happy. We're not happy. That's Mr. Limpy. Listen, Anthony, shout out to you, man. I know you're thin. This guy is, 5'7", 110, 115 pounds. Got heavy scarring in the lungs and stuff. This is all acids. Acids scar you. Acids burn you. Acids break your cells down. And so this is all about it. I don't know what to tell you to eat outside of fruits and berries and melons and salads to get a hold of the lymph, to get the stop the scarring and to eventually get the scarring to chew up and be gone, let alone get proper absorption. When you get too skinny, when you're on these programs, you're malabsorbed. You got to remember the GI tract and the lymph system in man is literally horrible. We have horrible GI tracts, we have horrible kidneys, horrible adrenal glands, and horrible lymph systems. So we just got to make them right. We got to go back and make up and correct a lot of things in our bodies so we can have more fun on the rock. So this post is from Health Song. Thank you very much. This is our one of our year's anniversary. That's pretty good. I think it was a good decision to do this. I think a lot of you hopefully are doing much better because of this. So I'm so happy that I did this YouTube for you guys. I think it's time we take over the world in our understanding and start healing people up and making people feel good, and everybody grows spiritually and love starts infiltrating our world here. While we're here, it's better to enjoy where you're at and have some fun. I always thought creation's more fun when you're having fun. This is German Eichelt. Even though this might seem a bit off-putting, but when I found out what glandulars were, I wondered if a testicle glandular would be good for infertile men. I'm thinking so. I think that's why you have gonadal tissue there in glandulars. I think all that's worth a try. I've never really used those much. I'm pretty kind of staying with my little adrenals and pituitaries and pineals, but I've used brain, I've used different ones. I mean, when you've got people really in trouble, I think these are excellent tools that we can use, considering all life is karmically bound here. And, I've talked to a lot of masters in my lives, and I've been in a lot of levels of creation, and you have to understand that some animals and plants are happy that they're here to give you themselves. You just you have to get out of the body to have a much better understanding of creation. When you're trying to judge creation and you've not had conscious experiences out of the body where it becomes part of your consciousness and an awakening, I'll say, because you're not learning anything that you don't already know. It's just sleeping in the back. And just you start to understand the interaction and love that life has for itself. Like I said, I've been back into plant life, and I know exactly how plants think and feel. And I've talked to people that have been in animal bodies. I can tell you a case in Mexico where close to Mexico where a man, I was doing a lecture on out-of-body travels, and this man every night found himself back in a lion body, a tiger body, and he could feel his paws, and on the wet ground he could feel the hunt. He had total recollection of a lifetime he was in a tiger, and he was a Mexican man. And I said, well, I can help you stop that. And he said, why? I love it. So he loved the kill. I mean, it was amazing to hear his story, but I've heard hundreds of stories like this. So there's so much more than what we think we know. There's just so much to creation and God, and it's so much fun. There's so much more fun than what's this world offers us, just to have a few material things. You know, the less material things you have, the better you are, guys. So don't try to have so many material things. They are nothing. They mean nothing. They're just things you collected dust on. But I think that's a good take, my friend. I would use some gonadal tissue, testicular tissue for sure. Definitely help inspire and increase the function of. This is Dottie Daniels. Will you be doing another detox classes? You are now sold out. September. We've already got September a third full. So you can talk to you. I told her I wouldn't tell you, but I've opened up September for another class. We used to do these classes every quarter, and then I went down to every 6 months because it is a lot of energy out. So, but I'm getting, you guys are getting me excited again. So I think we're going to do another class in September. You're welcome to participate in that class as well. This same young man here, I'm just going to call you German. German. Thanks, Doc, for answering the question. I didn't get the burning all the time, just recently, okay. 100% with some tonic herbal extracts I've been adding to my smoothies lately. That's a good idea. I think they are detoxing me, and I figured the burning sensation was from sulfur in my bowels since my stool seemed a little orangey. Yeah, exactly, right on. You guys, I love about you guys, you're really seeing reality right now. You're seeing some of the things I've been talking about is manifesting in you. You're right on, German. You're dude, you're doing it, man. You're really good. And that's just what's coming out. And it can cause a little gassy and a little bloaty too as it comes out. There's, you know, we got a lot of stuff in it. Just talked with a great YouTuber right there. You know, a lot of anxieties, but then remember, stomach. We've ingested a lot of chemical crap out there. Look at all these. I see these kids taking these drinks that are purple and different colors. Imagine all these dyes and stuff we're pouring down us. I mean, I feel sorry for these kids that are eating all this candy and crap that's just, I mean, loaded with all kinds of paraffin and dyes. I remember when growing up, we had those little paraffin-filled, Kool-Aid-filled paraffins or whatever, and yeah, you know, like for Halloween and your flutes and your... I mean, no one told us this stuff was chemical and toxic. I mean, you didn't think about it. Just the way you just, here it is, you know. Thank God we're waking up to these things. I look back and as a kid, I was pretty stupid. And like, hey, this is good. Trip vids 420. Hey, man. Wow, this makes so much sense. Oh, I'm glad. Every time I try to detox, I get overwhelmingly painful. And I was just talking to this young man about that, too. You're going to have pain wherever you have weaknesses, and if you have your eyes, and we're going to have a whole day of iris work, of course, and it's real simple, really. Once you use the eyes, you'll see right where you're going to have discomfort. Just wherever you're weak in your body, it's going to pull it out and make it strong again, and that's nature. And you're taking your body to that, so you're going to see a lot of aches and pains here and there, and some people extreme pain. I've had people have extreme pain, and it's like, I don't know why. You know, we can use castor oil packs for the painful areas, or any kind of oil that's very helpful, antacid, anti-inflammatory stuff, things like this. But You know, it's just the unwinding of the weaknesses in the clock, and as we've been talking about in the past, bringing you closer to the causal blueprint, bringing you to a more vital, healthy example of what, you know, true vitality is, I guess, you know. I don't know if there is a ceiling or what that is. You know, we're as Homo sapiens, we're coming from a very inferior position because we're having to deal with all these genetic weaknesses and the high level of toxicity from the milks and stuff. So we're having to undo all that, let alone get up into these higher levels of where humans should be getting already. We're kind of stuck at the physical level. I think even in our thinking, man is stuck here. I mean, there's all these dictators and all these governments seeking more power. I don't know what you know, it's a negative powers, and these people are just becoming victims of control of negative powers, whether they call them lizard people or not, reptilians or not. These are all representative of negative powers. Narcissistic views, controls, doesn't care if others are in pain and suffering, and you know, all this kind of crap that's out there. We are the warriors. We're the love people, and you can be a warrior and do it with lots of love. You know, because, you know, reality, nothing dies, and man has to, this level of creation, it's time to come up. The pressure is amongst us spiritual people to be spiritual and to bring love and compassion and understanding, but at the same time, strength. You don't have to be inferior and feel like you're too passive. You can be strong and demand truth. You don't have to Gandhi it. You can do that. You can do that. Nowadays, they don't deal well with Gandhis. If you're up in a tree sitting, they'll just cut down the tree. I mean, you know, this is the sort of thing, you know. I thought it was interesting that I don't know what, I think he was a Marine, but he put on his website that he will not take action against American citizens. I wonder what he heard. Detox, I get overwhelming pain from where I had my wisdom tooth removed. Yeah, because see, again, it's about acids, and now you look at modern dentistry and your younger dentists now talking about acids all the time instead of bacteria. Bacteria's got a bad rap because allopathy's theories have just been so stupid. Get into the reality of acids and what acids decay and break down, and of course all this lymph toxicity in these jaws and things. If they just pulling a tooth didn't fix, it's like removing a tumor. Pulling a tooth, removing a tumor, you did not fix the causative problem of that. You did not clean the lymph system, and you're going to have that acid still in there now working on the gums and bone. So it's all, just looking at that. I was on anesthesia during the surgery and took a Vicodin for the pain. My body never had the chance to heal. Yeah. Part of healing is mental. I never fully healed from the pain because my mind wasn't never aware when it happened. Interesting thought, absolutely. And of course, you got pain trapped in cells, you know, memory pain. You see that a lot. So cells can hold memory just like everybody else, and you'll see that in our class. We'll talk more about creation and how it's put together a little bit. Because once you understand that, it really gives you a foot up. Because I've studied, and we were talking about Seventh-day Adventists and stuff. I've studied just about every teaching out there, not the newer ones, but the older teachings that's been around of all levels, and I can just tell you, we've figured out how creation is put together. And so, at least to some degree, and it's a good idea to have that understanding. It really changes your perception of even who you are, and I think that's important at this time, is to unleash the Drakens. Unleash yourself. Unleash yourself as consciousness and soul, and not trap yourself in physical bodies. These are just things you're using, vehicles you're using to move you around here, and not very fast at that.